Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On February 16th, 2024, we celebrate another National Do a Grouch a Favor Day. Why would we want to do a grouch a favor? Are grouches a good thing? Whether you call them a grouch, a crab, a malcontent, or a more formal name such as a curmudgeon, grouches are all around, complaining about everything and snapping at others. Here are some reasons we should be thankful for grouches and do them a favor. First, grouches are funny. Famous comedians such as Don Rickles, Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Burr, Louis Black, and Ricky Gervais made a living by making us laugh at their complaints. Second, grouches can bring out the best in us. Grouchy bosses and critics can point out our mistakes and force us to perform better. Think of Gordon Ramsay. Finally, grouches can make the rest of us look good with our minor complaints seeming small in comparison. As a question for my students and subscribers, who is the grouchiest famous person you know? On February 17, 1996, chess champion Garry Kasparov bested the IBM Deep Blue supercomputer in a historic chess game between man and machine. The battle between organic and electronic brains went far beyond a single match, as Kasparov beat the special-built chess-playing machine 3-1 and 2 ties. Not content with beating the Grandmaster once, IBM reworked their computer, doubling its computing speed, and a rematch was held in 1997, this time resulting in a win for Deep Blue. An irate Kasparov demanded a rematch, but IBM had taken the computer apart. Machines have already been long beating humans at many labors such as digging, cutting down trees, driving rail spikes, and just about everything you can think of. The scary scenario of AI becoming self-aware and taking over the world from humans has alarmed many scientists. How about you? On February 18, 2013, 8 robbers dressed up as police officers hit the Brussels airport in Belgium with a brazen diamond heist that netted the crooks $50 million worth of the precious stones. Using a van and a car made up to look like police vehicles and wearing police-type uniforms while armed with AK-47-type rifles, the robbers entered the airport through a hole they cut in the perimeter fence and intercepted the load of diamonds as they were being transferred from an armored truck to a Fokker 100 jetliner operated by Helvetic Airways. The robbers made off with 130 bags of diamonds, somehow missing some additional bags. No shots were fired, and passengers on the airliner did not know what had happened. The robbers made their getaway, but by May of 2013, 31 of the suspects had been arrested and some of the diamonds recovered. On February 19, 1978, Egyptian commandos raided Larnaca International Airport in Cyprus in an attempt to rescue hostages taken in the hijacking of a Cyprus Airways Douglas DC-8. The Egyptians were not authorized by Cyprus to engage the hijackers, and a firefight broke out between Cypriot forces against the Egyptians, resulting in at least 18 Egyptians killed and another 18 wounded, while 8 Cypriots were wounded. A pair of terrorists had assassinated 2 Egyptians at a conference in Cyprus, and then took hostages to the airport and boarded a jetliner. Not allowed to land anywhere else, the jet returned to Cyprus with the hostages and terrorists, where negotiations began. The Egyptians did not know the terrorists had agreed to surrender before the assault. After the casualties and the destruction of an Egyptian cargo plane, the terrorists were arrested and sentenced to life in prison. On February 20, 1959, the government of Canada cancelled the Avro Arrow supersonic jet fighter program, creating conjecture and controversy that continues to this day. Within 2 months of the cancellation, the government ordered all plans, tools, and all 5 existing prototypes to be destroyed. Designed to fly at Mach 2 and at 53,000 feet, the Arrow would have been cutting-edge technology to protect Canada. Avro was the 3rd largest company in Canada, one of the 100 largest in the world, but the Arrow fiasco basically ruined the company and it went out of business in 1962. Canada instead bought 66 McDonnell CF-101 Voodoo interceptors from the U.S., operational until 1984, never seeing any combat. For economic, political, technological, or even corrupt reasons, at times a fine airplane design is never produced for operational use. On February 21st, 1848, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels published the Communist Manifesto, a book that has become the antithesis of capitalists everywhere and to many synonymous with all that is wrong with the communist sympathizers of the world. Another book that has achieved a distinct level of distaste among a large part of humanity is Mein Kampf, the fascist manifesto by Adolf Hitler that inspired the catastrophe of World War II and the Holocaust, and continues to inspire haters even today. Obviously, people of certain religions detest the holy books of competing religions, such as the Quran, the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, anything to do with Scientology, and of course the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible. Some creationists may find Darwin's On the Origin of Species abhorrent. What books do you find detestable? What is the most reviled book of all time? On February 22, 1974, a U.S. Army veteran, Samuel Bike, failed miserably in his attempt to assassinate President Richard Nixon when Bike was unable to successfully hijack a DC-9 jetliner in order to crash it into the White House. Bike first stole a .22 caliber pistol and used it to hijack a jet at the BWI airport, shooting a police officer and both pilots in the process. Eventually, Bike was wounded by a police officer shooting through a window in the jet, and Bike then shot himself. Another notable bungled presidential assassination was the first ever attempted murder of a U.S. president in 1835, when the assassin's pistol misfired and President Andrew Jackson beat the assassin senseless with a cane. The attempt to kill former President Teddy Roosevelt in 1912 left TR with a bullet in his chest, but the bull moose went ahead and delivered his 90-minute speech anyway. As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.